Today we're going to be going over all the decontamination kits that are going to be put on all the first out apparatus. Every single engine, all 3 battalion chiefs, A, B, and C, along with the training division and Lieutenant Loker, will all be equipped with a 5-gallon gross decontamination kit. So right now what we're going to do is go over what is actually inside each kit. As you can see on the outside, we'll have a list of the contents. This way, if any of the supplies need to be replaced or replenished after a use, everybody knows what goes inside. So once we take the lid off, the first thing that's going to come out is the scrub brush. This will be used to scrub the PPE from any of the decontaminants that are on it after involvement in the actual fire. The next thing we're going to have is 15 feet of garden hose. We'll also have an attached nozzle. This kit's already been put together. All the other kits will have the nozzle free of the hose, so just keep that in mind. The big thing to remember is there's going to be an extra washer inside the garden hose. It's kind of important that you guys make sure you have that when you're checking your kits. If not, when you go to attach it to the reducer that is attached to the 2.5 discharge, you'll have leaks. So make sure to check for that as well. Speaking of the reducer, this will be the 2.5 into the 5/8 garden hose reducer. Every kit will have one of those. We'll also have soap. We talked to the company that cleans all of our PPE. They recommended using a liquid soap and not a physical detergent. So every kit also has the soap that'll be used to wash the PPE following an actual fire. And last but not least, all of our trash bags. We have trash bags, there'll be 5 of them in each kit. That should account for every single engine and rescue. So every crew should be at 5. If your crew's at 4, you're gonna have an extra one, that's fine. Those are probably gonna be the things we have to replace the most and the most frequent. But there's gonna be 5 trash bags in there. That'll be the total contents of every kit. And as I said earlier, if any of the kit starts running low on supplies, contact Lieutenant Loker. He'll get you whatever you need to replace and replenish the supplies. Thank you. So what I'm going to show you now is how to hook it up once we actually have the pump and everything ready to go. First thing we need to remember when it comes to the garden hose section, check the inside for the little washer. Without the little washer, once we connect it to the actual discharge reducer, you're going to have a lot of water spewing out. So check to make sure you have it. Every kit should have it. I kind of like safety tied them, like the things that go around bread. They should be in there. If not, let us know. We can get you a new one. But all the kits should have that. So it's pretty simple. Pop up one of your 2.5-inch discharges, attach the reducer. You're then going to attach the 5/8 garden hose. When we run it up, we've already tested it. You can do it at idle. So once the pump's engaged, you don't have to throttle it up. We're going to be about 45 to 50 PSI. You'll get plenty of water out of this. If for some reason you need to increase it, I would probably say no more than about 10 more PSI, so about 60 PSI max, and that's going to give you all the water you need coming out of here. Again, the whole idea behind this is to start trying to decon our gear prior to getting it inside of our cabs and back at the stations. So the biggest reason is we're trying to reduce the cancer that's on our gear. We're going to be exposed to cancers at about 2.5 times more than the general public. A lot of the stations have the new posters that say soot is not a badge of honor. That's kind of coinciding with what I'm doing here with the gross decontamination kits, okay? If you have any questions about what the actual percentages are and the rates that we're exposed to as firefighters, just check back with the PowerPoint that'll be included on this. That'll show you exactly what type of cancers we're exposed to more being firefighters and the rates because of that. The 2 big ones just off the top of my head are going to be thyroid and testicular cancer. Those are primarily because of where we place our hood when we're not wearing it. It's rested on our bunker gear. So if you have any questions, just reference back to the PowerPoint. So the big reason we're going to start implementing a gross decon for the fire department is we're going to try to limit the amount of cancer and carcinogens we're exposed to, especially on our PPE, following any involvement in a structure fire basically. As we know, recently the amount of cancer that firefighters are exposed to has been going up pretty high, especially with certain parts of the body. Testicular cancer and thyroid cancer are the high ones for us due to our hood, where we place it when we're not wearing our bunkers, and where it goes right now resting. So if we look at firefighter Rude, we can see that it's resting against the neck and ears. That has the potential to absorb a lot of carcinogens during our involvement in a fire. So the whole idea behind this is to try to take out as much of that debris and carcinogens prior to leaving the fire and prior to getting back to the station. So the idea would be, firefighter Rude just finished his involvement in a fire. With that being said, firefighter Philbar would first rinse him off. Now, as he's rinsing him off, we know that that kit, here's our reducer. This attaches to one of your 2.5 discharges, and then you have the 5/8 garden hose. So all you gotta do is hit that to one of your 2.5s, water comes out. We don't have to pump it that high. At idle, 45 to 50 PSI is gonna give you plenty of water. So as the drivers or the engineers, just pump it at idle, you'll have more than enough water. If you need to, you can throttle up just a little bit, maybe 10 more PSI, probably no more than 60, and you're gonna be way good. So once we rinse them off, we're looking for that big debris. We're looking for the extra soot, we're looking for the insulation or drywall. That's what we're trying to knock off with the hose right now. Following that, we're gonna use our cleaning solution. I talked to Lieutenant Loker. He talked with the company that cleans our fire gear. They recommended a liquid soap. So here's our liquid soap we're going to be using. Once he rinses them off, he would use that liquid soap, pour it over different parts of the PPE. Following that, he'd use the supplied scrub brush, and he'd basically scrub the gear. Again, we're not looking to fully clean the gear. We're just looking to try to take off all the large debris, particles, and try to take any of that stuff off the gear prior to him doffing his own gear, okay? As you can see, we can clean the boots, we can clean the gloves, and the helmet and mask. Those are important, especially the pack, because we're not going to be packaging those. Those are going to be remaining with the firefighter. So once that's all done, he can rinse them off. So as firefighter Philbar rinses them off, at this point, we can start doffing his gear. So firefighter Rude, go to start doffing your gear. Remember, gloves, boots, mask, and helmet are going to remain with you. Everything else is going to get bag and tagged. Something to remember, we can kind of look at the different levels of soiled levels for your PPE. So I would probably look at it in about 3 different levels, okay? The first one, you were involved in the fire, you went in, you actually had a lot of involvement, and you came out and you're pretty soiled. The second, you went in, but you didn't get that soiled. And the third, you didn't go in at all. If you didn't go in at all, you don't have to do anything with your gear. You're good to go. You're ready to answer the call if a call comes out. If you went in for a little bit and your gear's a little bit dirty, I would still recommend doing gross decon on scene. But once you get back to the station, you'd probably still have to go to station 1 and take that gear and put it on the drying rack, which has now been started up by Captain Florsheim at station 1. It has the little skeletons. You put your gear on to let it dry. Put your gear on there, let it dry. Go to Lieutenant Loker's office and get a new set of PPE. Once your set's dry, you can go back to your original set. If we go back to the first level, which is you were involved for the fire the whole time, it's pretty dirty and your gear's pretty soiled. Right now, Rude would be dropping all of his gear. He'd be tagging it with some duct tape and placing it in a trash bag. The trash bag would then be taken to station 1, dropped off to Lieutenant Loker. He takes it to get professionally cleaned. You would get a second set of backup gear, and now you're ready to answer the call in case another one comes out. At this stage right here, all the battalion chiefs, including all the floor battalions, and I believe EMS Battalion Chief Adam Morosa as well, will be supplied with fire wipes. Those are going to be used at this stage. Right now, his upper body is exposed. We want to wipe his neck, his face, and his hands. Fire wipes will be used for that process. Once that's done, he could doff his pants, go back into his station boots. When you get back to the station, you want to decon all of your hard stuff. So your helmet, your mask, your gloves, and your pack. You're going to be issued a new hood. We've already started that program. We already talked about tagging your gear, getting a new set of gear. But what do we do with our uniform that we're in right now, our blues? As soon as he returns to the station after getting new gear, he needs to take a shower. The first 5 minutes of that shower should be cold. The reason being, we're trying to knock off any potential contaminants on the body without opening our pores. Once that 5 minutes is done, we can take a warmer shower and actually take a shower just like normal. Once your shower is done, get into a new set of blues, put your old set of blues in the washer, wash them. So at this stage, the fire's done. We've tagged his gear. He's gotten a new hood. He went and got new gear from station 1. If his gear was really soiled, he tagged it. If his gear was semi-soiled, he washed it on scene, and then he's putting on the dryer rack at station 1. All his other stuff's been washed at the station. He took a shower, and now he's in new blues. At this stage, gross decon is completely done. By doing this, we cut our potential to have carcinogens exposed to us while we're in a PPE, or on our PPE, excuse me, by over half. It's actually 85% reduction by doing gross decon on scene. So at this stage, we're all done. If you guys have any questions with gross decon, contact myself or the training department, and we'll be happy to answer as many of them as you have. Thank you.